works. We did it. All right. Episode 2. To all who find this happy podcast, welcome. And, we hope you have fun here. I, of course, am Jay Shot. And this guy here is No Chewing. What's going on, Chewy?
No Chewing. Chewy. Whatever you'd like to call me. It's fine.
It works. That's how it happens. So
happy Thursday. Happy start to the summer.
Yes. Are your kids done?
Yep. As of Monday, they've been out. And I've been exhausted and a little bit sick all week. I don't know the correlation of work ramping up, kids being home, and just being like, hey, it's warm weather. You should be sick.
It just happens. Yeah, it just happens that way. My kids don't stop until Monday, which is crazy to me because they had off today, and then they're going to be in school for half day tomorrow, and then half day Monday. It's like, why are we doing this?
They had an admin day today.
Off today. So it is Juneteenth. So
fair enough.
Most places are closed, which is good. My office, of course, was not, which was weird. But
my office was not closed either.
Yeah. So, the half day tomorrow, which is crazy because my daughter gets to celebrate her birthday in school.
That's cool. That's always special.
June birthday. I never got to celebrate mine in August.
My birthday falls during Thanksgiving weekend, so I never got to celebrate in school. I never got to celebrate without having to eat pie too.
Oh,
so
okay.
Although no, sometimes no pie, but oftentimes it was on the table still.
Yeah. It's not a terrible idea. Not a terrible.
I kind of like it now.
See, now you're all about it. Very all about it. Well, before we go too far off on a tangent, what is your favorite pie? What's your go-to pie?
Pecan.
I would not have expected that from you.
Go for that straight heartburn now. All sugar and nuts.
Learn something every day. All right. So,
what about yours?
I'm an apple or a pumpkin kind of guy. So
I love those too. Mm-hmm. Surprisingly, I don't like blueberry pie.
Yeah, blueberry I could take or leave. I'll be honest.
Yeah. Disney
time. But anyway, we're not here to talk about pies. Unless we could tie this back to Disney pies. I don't know. But I'm sure
unless they do something special, I bet they do something special during Thanksgiving.
I'm sure. I was gonna say Thanksgiving. We always went when we would be down there around that time. Our place to go was Liberty Tree Tavern. So if you've there, they have a good Thanksgiving style, family style buffet, which is always good.
That's a time it actually makes sense. Their entire menu.
When
it doesn't make sense? July.
August. It doesn't make sense in August.
112 degrees. Go get yourself some gravy.
Gravy and turkey. Yep. You need a nap.
You want that heft when you go down Splash Mountain.
And a little extra in the front. So we got a couple people checking in with us. Of course, we got Flashpoint Custom saying happy Thursday. RG's here. What's going on, Art? Nice to see you. Guys? Tenny letting us know that the museums were closed today, so that's good. I would have ventured off to a museum today, but they were closed. And Flashpoint also saying apple pie is his favorite. And we've got the number one BRS fan here, NJ Tree, who messaged me immediately after this episode aired, yelling Skippy. His name was Skippy. That was the name. He was like, I was screaming at the television, and I was like, oh well.
I'm so glad he's here live to correct us.
Yeah, now he's live, so he will be our Disney fact checker as we go along.
Who also is a fan? Highly Articulated Adam.
Oh, okay.
He's also a Disney adult.
We're happy to have them come on and talk with us. So, and Tenny, either one, any account is great. We're just happy that you're here. And also watching is Machu. So, what's going on, everybody?
Wherever you are, click like.
Yeah.
Subscribe if you're not done so. If you want to pad the stats wherever you'd like, I'll appreciate it.
We're still figuring this out, like I said. So we'll probably eventually venture only to the BRS channel, but while that grows, we'll throw it out to the ether everywhere. So,
what type of mug is that?
Oh well, thank you for asking. This is my what is it? Pop culture coffee mug. That of course is my turtle.
That's awesome.
There you go. Yeah.
I
paid for it. But hey, give a plug anyway. Machi said he split his hellos. So there you go. Puts it on all the comments. We appreciate that. But yeah, good show last 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we're gonna stick to this like every other episode, every other week, as of right now, and see how it goes. And kind of just pick one or two things to talk about. This week, you and I were talking a little bit before we went live. Pixar made an announcement that they are going back to Italy, which isn't the huge announcement, but I'm going to share my screen here.
When they go, well,
Pixar is returning to Italy with a new animated film, Gatto. But the trick here is that they are bringing back hand painted animation, which is kind of wild to me, considering that
hand painted.
Yeah.
That's going way back.
Way back, which I'm not upset about in any way, shape, or form. And actually, in talking with my wife before this, she reminded me that Lilo and Stitch was the last hand painted film, the original Lilo and Stitch, obviously not the one that was just released, the live action, where they used watercolor. So it's cool that they're making this return. It just seems out of character, I guess, for Pixar, known for obviously computer animation and paving the way in computer animation. So
this is absolutely in their lane because they disrupted the industry back in the 90s and really cemented the style in the 2000s. And now at the time when everything seems like it's a little CG, a little AI'd up a bit, they're going the opposite way. So,
it's true. It's just, and I also know that like the Pixar team kind of took over Disney Animation when they merged, or in the last few years, that they've kind of like really taken a heavy hand in it. But Disney Animation still exists. So it just, for this announcement, unless it's going to be a mix of 3D animation and hand painted, I'm not sure. But this just seems wild. I mean, I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited about it. Again, like anything, going back to that look and feel. There's always something special about that. And the painstaking of the art and the animation that way. But
even thinking about it from a collector perspective, we can't buy stills anymore of like any of our favorite things because it's not created to be stills. It's all on a computer. You can get printout and nice and like greasy. But this would be pretty cool to pick up. If this catches on, a lot more Disney, features in the style. I'd love to have something hanging on my wall.
So I will say this: in back when Up was released, I was working at the theater. My job, before my previous job, and we had a print of Up, and I was really good friends, obviously, with the projectionist because I was running the theater, and I kind of I said to him, I was like, just cut me out of frame, and he's like, I can't. I was like, just cut me out of frame, and he's like, I can't, and I was like, come on, just one frame. Just one little frame. Like, it's not going to be a big deal. Nobody's going to know. And he was like, swore up and down he wouldn't do it. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to push. And then sure enough, when the print went back, after like a week went by, he walked over and he handed me. So somewhere I have an Up title, actual film, like 35 millimeter film. It's literally just a single frame floating around my office somewhere that I acquired. So, if they come for me now, they come for me now. I'm happy to... happy to do it. But yeah, this seems really cool. And, kind of in reading this, it says a bold step for Pixar, expressive hand-drawn aesthetics. Also, we saw an announcement this week that Pixar is going back to bringing in the blooper reels with Elio. Is going to have the bloopers at the end.
Oh, really?
And they're bringing back the shorts, which... very excited. Have you heard the short? That I haven't seen any trailers for it, but it's going to be about Nona and a Yaya. So it's going to be the Italian and the Greek grandmother, and I can't wait to see how they tie this together. It's going to be fantastic. So.
Oh, that's cool. I'm excited for that. Is Elio out already, or is that this weekend?
I think it releases this weekend. I keep wanting to say Elio, like the pizza.
Is it not Elio? Is it not? It's not a cross promotion.
No, I don't think it is. But yeah, let's see. Well, it's already got showtimes here, so I'm assuming it's out. When did it come out?
Maybe it was
June 20th. So it releases tomorrow. So yeah. So
okay.
Releases. Sometimes there's always releases tonight, but yeah, excited for that one, and excited to see how it looks. So let's see. What else we got here? Bringing back the bloopers. What else? I haven't seen much about Elio. I know that I'm Elio. Oh man, I'm gonna be doing that all night.
I want to say it's Elio.
Elio. Yeah.
Like, imagine like yelling as a parent, like Elio. I feel like
Elio.
that's the
Yeah.
way.
Like
I could be
Elliot a
wrong.
little
I could
bit.
be wrong.
Yeah. So let's see. So I'm going to share. I know that on their page here, they've got the trailer, and it obviously, not obviously, it's a story about a kid not feeling like he belongs, and then he gets abducted, I believe, by aliens, and kind of finds his way there. So interesting.
And it's
Pixar does a
Pixar.
great.
Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah. Pixar does a good job too about toying with your emotions, and making those who don't feel like they belong find a home. So can't imagine this not being good.
Yeah. I'll definitely
Wow.
see it.
What was the last one that they did? Was Inside Out 2 or was it Elements?
That's a good question. I feel like it was Elements. Actually,
Was it
that's
Elements?
worthy of a Google search.
It's worthy of a Google search. Wasn't the biggest fan of Elements. I didn't think it was
Oh,
bad
you didn't
by
like
any
it?
shape. Not that I didn't like it. Just wasn't. It wasn't my favorite.
Inside Out 2 was the most recent, and then
Inside
before
Out 2.
that was Elemental.
Okay, Elemental. Oh, Elemental, not Elements. So there you go. Can't even. I don't even remember the actual name of it.
I liked Elemental. There were
Yeah.
some real nice gems in that movie when they started actually about the girl on fire. I forget their name, so I can't even say I'm a huge fan of it. But the fire in the water, when they start to have a relationship and see the beauty in each other,
Yeah.
something about that, I'm just like, damn, that was good. And then that
Yeah.
one song during that, I have on in a playlist that I play fairly regularly.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. Maybe I need to rewatch it because I don't remember a lot about it. I did. I mean, I remember like the daughter not wanting to run the shop and the father getting old. Like I remember that stuff. I mean, and the relationship, and then like her going to meet the parents. Like I remember those little things, but I don't remember the whole. And I definitely don't remember the song, so I'm gonna have to recap on what that one was.
I love that story. Like now that I think about it more, it came out at an odd time too. It was like, at the tail end of, things were starting to
Between
come
COVID.
back around. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
movie there wasn't what it is today. Now I actually feel like we're back.
Yeah.
Where we have blockbusters and like excitement, and like things are reaching close to $1 billion again.
Yeah.
Which is, funny enough, before COVID, every blockbuster was like billion. Mission Impossible,
Everybody.
2 billion. Fast and Furious, 6 billion. Avengers, like all the money. Who knows? But I feel like we're finally getting to that point, and it came out at that odd time. But it was one of those stories where it didn't do very well at the beginning, but it had legs. Like the classic, like it's a family film. Keep it in theaters. People will go see it because families want to get out there.
Right.
And Elemental was that example, that like beacon of hopes. Like it didn't do well, but it crossed like $500 million or something like that.
Wow. I mean, Lilo. I just looked up while we were talking. I just looked up Lilo and Stitch because Lilo and Stitch is now at 610.8 million globally. So, that's not bad. That's really not bad.
Yeah, that has legs.
Yeah.
I would expect a Lilo and Stitch too.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then I don't know if you saw, there's been a bunch of like, people were saying that they felt like it was a little too like straight and narrow, like scripted. And then there was an interview with
Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis, who said that that was filmed during the writer's strike, so they couldn't do any ad-libbing, which I didn't realize was a thing, right? Like if you're going to shoot during a strike, you can't vary from the script.
You can't vary. You can't add or edit. No one can touch the script.
Right. So that's why there's no, like, you could tell, like, especially having someone like Zach Galifianakis, right, who's going to do a couple different takes. They couldn't do it. So it'd be interesting to see if there is a Stitch 2, how much more life comes to it. Tenny says that biracial kids related to Elemental. I could see that. I could completely understand that. So,
or I think about that too, like the tale of the father and the daughter. The daughter, in the movie, she clearly has that, a gift for sculpting.
Yeah.
Where her father just, is a very strong immigrant tale. It's like he opened a bodega.
Right.
And he built that up. He came from nothing and like really felt that persecution of being an outsider, trying to build something up in this new country, this new land. And then to have a daughter to basically be like, I'm gonna leave the shop to you. I'm getting older, and the daughter just she wants to make her dad happy, but she's failing left and right because it's not what she's meant to do. And then she finally gets to, learn to communicate that to her parents and then go after what she actually wants to do with her life.
Well, doesn't she end up like wanting to do something different with the shop too, like introduce new things? Wasn't that part of it, or am I imagining that?
I don't know if she was going to do anything different. I know she did not like customers, which makes owning a store very difficult.
Yeah. What's the line from Clerks? This job would be great if it wasn't for the customers. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a Pixar Clerks movie. People can.
There you go. Hey, might give it new life. But so one of the topics we figured we'd talk about tonight, why we're talking about Pixar kind of returning to hand-painted animation and just Pixar and other movies in general. What were some Disney movies, and obviously from the chat too, we want to hear from what Disney movies that you guys either connected with at a younger age, an older age, or in general, just what had a weight on you or an influence on you. And speaking about Pixar and Inside Out or Inside Out 2, I remember seeing Inside Out, and a friend of mine had got me tickets to a special screening where Pete Docter was there and did a Q&A before and after. And there was not, dude, that movie wrecked me. Like, just absolutely wrecked me. And I remember, like, literally the credits start rolling and I'm crying. My wife is crying. Everybody in the room is crying. And the guy who's going to run the Q&A comes out and says, I don't know how you guys feel, but I need about 5 minutes. And he like walked off to compose himself. And then like they came out and did the Q&A after. But yeah, dude, I remember like, and I think I had just had I just had my daughter at that point, and it like going through the emotion of that movie as both an adult, as as a parent, and also just as a kid coming to terms with the fact that he is now an adult. Like, that movie just absolutely destroyed me.
I saw it for the first time. Like, I didn't see it in theaters. I think it was the year. It's been 10 years, right? We're celebrating the 10-year anniversary.
I think we're celebrating 20.
20. Oh my God.
No, it can't be 20. It can't be 10 years. Yeah, sorry. 10 years.
Okay. I was like, oh my God, time. It just slips through my hands. So that was the year that my daughter was born. And so when that came out, I wasn't a father yet. So I saw it on like DVD the next year. But yeah, that hit. I agree. That hits you hard when you see it through that lens. And then as time's progressed, it hits you in different ways because, that first year when I saw it, my daughter was a baby. It was like, okay, I feel that beginning part of that movie. And I can imagine what's like as we get closer to her age after like 10 minutes. Yeah. But now, like, I saw it like last year. I'm like, I'm way closer to that adolescent kid than I was to that baby. So that makes you sad. But then you're also like, I'm feeling it for this girl that has to start over again. And like, you can see it in the lens of your kid's eyes and the trauma that you're going to subject this kid through. And you can't be there for that person.
No. And they can't communicate that with you, right? They don't know how to communicate it. I mean, not to get too deep down the path, but like my daughter who's going to be 12 tomorrow. So I think she must've been 1 or 1.5 when this movie came out, and knowing what she's going through now in just terms of emotions and change. And even my 7-year-old now, who's just like, and it's like, he just gets angry and it's like, okay, anger's at the controls. We get it. How do we diffuse this? How do we try to figure this out? But I do think that having that and not making them see that, but having them see that kind of did help to, give us a way to communicate with them, right? Like, what are you feeling right now? How are you feeling right now? What, something like, my kids always say, it's like, I don't know. And it's like, okay, well, what do you know? Right? Like, what do you know? Talk to me about what you know so we can try to fix it. Oh,
yeah. And I will say, jump into Inside Out 2. Mm-hmm. That one hits harder as a dad because, just how you couldn't be inside Riley's head in the first movie. The parents aren't even present in the second movie. They drop her off. She's at the cusp of going to high school between like 8th and freshman year. Yeah. And she's left to her own devices. And I think about there's a thing, like you always see these like TikToks or reels or whatever about like life and like little pearls of wisdom. It's like the first 7 years of a child's life, you are their like protector. You keep them alive, and then also you're their plaything.
Yeah.
The next 7 years from until like 14 or so, you're their friends. You're not even your friend. You're coaching them.
Right.
And you're just trying to show them the way now that they are gonna be, those late teens, they're kind of young adults, and then they're gonna go off to be adults. And then your role at that point is just to be their friends. And then after that, you have to learn to cope being just their friend that they probably won't talk to as much.
Yeah. Oh. And also like, introducing the new emotions. I mean, the representation of anxiety, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, like that, but like giving a face to the feeling sometimes just helps, right? Like especially towards the end where anxiety thinks they're doing the right thing and spiraling, but you're right, like you can't, in that movie there's nothing, the parents aren't even there, the parents don't have no idea what's happening.
No idea. I
No
would have loved
idea.
it in that sequel, the second one, if Riley just simply called her mom or
Yeah.
texted her, and the mom sends her like this long-winded, like chunky text message back, and Riley just like turns her phone down, does it anyway, does whatever she wants anyways. Or if it's like, at least you messaged your parents to give them
Right.
some inkling, and then you did exactly the same thing. It's just like whatever.
Yeah. You wrote back K,
Yeah, it's like learn to write shorter. like geez, pay by the words.
Yeah. TLDR. Oh, what was the movie that like you connected with either recently or
I know
in the past that helped shape you?
I know, I'm gonna go with the recent one because I still watch it. It sits on my iPad in the download folder, and so whenever I travel anywhere, it's always available. It's Toy Story 4. I know it's not an essential chapter to the Toy Story, legacy, and I can't wait to see what Toy Story 5 is going to be like. If 4 wasn't necessary, 5 must be super unnecessary. But it's the old man Logan. I think we've talked about it. It's like old man Woody.
Yep.
What do you do when you're no longer needed? And that just hits me so hard. And it feels like he's grasping to like try to like be something like he was before. And he's clearly too old for this. I think he says it along the way. It's like this used to be a lot easier.
Yeah. I hate the fact that Toy Story 4 exists, but at the same time, I love that Toy Story exists, right? Because Toy Story 3 to me was such a button on the trilogy.
Oh my goodness, yes.
I mean, I'm sure we could talk a whole episode just about that movie and I mean, when I went to go see Toy Story 3, and they're in the trash compactor or the trash incinerator, I was prepared. I was like, this is it. This is how this ends. Like this is.
Could you imagine the gall, the bravado to be like, and cut to credits,
whoosh, cut it to credits,
and that's
like,
and it like teaches you a lesson about toys. You're like, oh my god, we're terrible. Everyone save your toys.
Yeah, going home and hugging every toy you ever own. But you're right. Like the story about like what do you do, when you feel like you're no longer needed, and how do you find a new life, right? Like he goes off with Bo and finds a new life or tries to reinvent himself. I mean, I assume that your connection with that as a parent or as an adult, where it's like it's scary, right? It's a terrifying thought. I mean, I can't imagine not being needed, but also the freedom of not being needed. Like wow, what does that do?
I get to go on an adventure with this sheep lady.
And she even ditched her sheep, so we didn't have that responsibility.
That's true.
So,
Mo and Curly and Lefty.
Mo, Curly, and Lefty. I love that you remembered their names. Mo, Curly, and Lefty. God. Do you remember what? I mean, Inside Out for sure. Toy Story, definitely one of those movies for me. Growing up, my mother always said that she would put on Pinocchio. Pinocchio was the movie that would I would just sit in front of the TV and watch for hours. Which is probably why I still collect toys and I'm infatuated with Disney and never wanted to grow up and always threatened to be a real boy, but yeah, I mean, I definitely those movies. I don't really know. I'm trying to think of other movies that impacted me. I mean, I was always a big Pixar guy. Like I have a lot of movies that I feel like we quote all the time. Like I got movies for different people that I connect with. Like my sister and I are, it's Monsters Inc. Right? Like,
Oh yeah.
the amount of times that we'll just throw random things out, like, oh, that Dawn paperwork, like, or just like, I'll just be with my sister. We'll just go scary feet, scary feet, scary feet, scary feet. The kid's awake, and we'll like stuff like that. It's funny how like each of these different movies kind of connect with you, or connect with different people in different ways,
Yeah.
And then there's some of them that just like, I remember watching Brave. I like Brave a lot. I don't feel like I connected with it that much.
I connected
Laughed at
that
it.
with that one way harder when my
Yeah.
daughter got into it. When
Okay.
she was just like on the couch pretending that she was Merida with like a Nerf like
Yeah.
bow and arrow. And something about that, just like the song of like
Yeah.
Merida on the horse and like riding off. I was like, oh man. And I'm seeing my through again, it's always through the kid's eyes. I'm like
Oh
seeing them. I'm
yeah.
just like, this is so good. And
Yeah.
then even the brother that's always the set of brothers, the bears, the
Yep.
cubs that are always naked for some reason. And then
Yeah.
I have my son who's always naked for some reason. But I'm
Always
like,
naked.
will you put some underwear? I mean,
Yeah. Just come on, something. It was running through the background. Wear
yeah.
your pants. Like,
Do you know where
no,
the socks are?
yeah. Yeah. My son always ends up in underwear and socks, and I'm just like, what? That is the weirdest combo to me. Like, just take the socks off at least. Like,
He
I
saw
don't know.
risky business once.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I
He's
took a
like,
lesson.
I get a lesson. There's no pants and socks all the way. Uh,
Ratatouille
but,
has always struck me as a movie that
oh,
continues to give me life lessons about
I
like just
and
like
I,
again going against the
yeah,
grain of what you're meant what people
yeah,
think you should be, like what your parents, your brother, or your culture, or
yeah,
wherever, and you go against it, and it's that underdog story. Maybe you can succeed. It's worth a try.
yeah. Everyone could cook, right? And that's the premise, right? Everyone can do it. I feel like that is a movie now that, to your point, right? It kind of, every time you watch it, you find something new about it. It's like a little bit that way. Um, that was supposed to be, that was the movie in development that was supposed to be the last one, right? Like
Yes,
that was
that
like before, yeah. So it was going to be
actually
like
I
their,
think that was supposed to be their first one without Disney. I think that was supposed to be the one
oh, it
that
was supposed to, oh, okay.
where
I
they
knew it
would get
was,
stand alone. And do you
yeah.
imagine the parallel worlds where Pixar became the next DreamWorks? And so there's DreamWorks,
Oh,
Disney, and Pixar
oh my
rolling out
God.
these classics and just pushing it
Yeah.
forwards.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
like,
they did what was that era? It was Ratatouille, Up, Wally, and you saw these three films that really tried to do something different.
yeah.
Had a great story to tell. Like if you
Mhm.
think about Up, oh my God, we're talking about things through the eyes of children.
Yeah.
Now we can talk about through the eyes of like
Adults.
as husbands.
Yeah.
That opening
Oh God.
crushes me,
God.
but I can't look away because it's so
No.
beautifully well done, and this like that piano is
Yeah.
so good. Like that
Yeah.
song just like hits me and it sends me back, and I can't let it go.
No, you can't. And I'm pretty sure that Up had come out, yeah, like right around the time that my wife and I were trying to get pregnant. And we had our issues getting pregnant. So like that scene where they're laying in, they're laying on the ground and looking up at the stand, and then she goes through the whole thing, and they can't have the kids, like that, like, these movies, intentional or not, or I guess just speaks to how they're made, and they're made with real life involved, always seem to hit a certain point, right? Like in your life, they always seem to make you draw or bring attention to, and kind of help you deal with and cope in some way that it's okay, right? Like other people are going through this, right? Like there's always that weird thing of like, I'm the only one that's dealing with this, and it's like, well, clearly other people are dealing with this if there's a movie about it.
Yeah.
So um but yeah, I mean, and you talk about, you're right, like that run of Ratatouille, Up, Wally, not just, the fact that these stories are phenomenal, but the fact that they were all doing different things, right? Like who would have known a story about an old guy and a kid, right, was going to make it? Or the story where, what, I think there's 7 minutes of dialogue in Wally, something ridiculous like that. Like that movie is
Oh, yeah,
just
actually.
sounds It's just sounds like
they portrayed a love story through beeps and
yeah,
explosions.
beeps and boops. Like it's incredible.
And like, yeah, oh my goodness. And
You
to what
know,
you were saying about like Up having that like life lesson, like you don't catch it on the first go. Like when that movie came out, I was in my early 20s. Like what I had everything in front of me. But now I think about that moment, that montage where they finally had time. They were gonna take a trip. They were finally gonna
yeah,
go.
that's it.
And it was too late. And it's like, oh my God,
It's
that
too late.
hits. That's why I always say yes to all these trips. Like my wife wants to go. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yeah, yeah.
Yep. Done.
Let's
What are we
go.
waiting for? Why are we waiting? Why are we
Die
waiting?
before I even get on the plane. Let's just get on.
That's it. Let's do it.
Yes.
Let's go right now. Right now.
You want to go
Machi
Disney
said,
again? Let's move.
yeah, done. No problem. Machi says, where's the toy collector movie? I think that was Toy Story 2. And the toy collector was the bad guy. That's what happened there. So we're gonna have to come up with a different one, Machi. We'll have to write it ourselves.
Or
yeah,
it's
no,
Toy Story 3 where Andy gives toys to a young girl and got her
right.
into all the toys that made
That's
him
true.
happy.
He
That is the
passed it on.
classic toy collector,
Yeah.
altruism right there.
And in Toy Story 5, he's mad that he sold all his toys and now he's trying to get them back through eBay. That's the
God, could you imagine if Toy Story 5 has anything to do with like a what's it whatnot or whatever? I would be disappointed. Be like, we have drained the creativity well. We should have just left it be. Bonnie is now 30.
Yeah. Oh, that that brings up a point though. Like you talk about kind of I don't even call it the golden era of Pixar, but I did feel like they were going through a little bit of a downward turn, right? Where it's like, again, movies that were good, right? It's always like we used to say this about Buffy, like the worst episode of Buffy was still the best episode of television, right? Like it's still good, but it's not up to that snuff. Like movies like The Good Dinosaur, I think didn't hit right. And I'm trying to think of some of the other ones that I just like, I don't even remember,
There was a bit where it seemed like they were going for a little bit of a younger audience rather than aiming for the full audience. So
right.
I imagine The Good Dinosaur falls in that category. All the Cars movies fall in that category. And then at a certain point, it just, it's like Marvel. The team got spread too thin.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got Cars 3, but then if I look at the list, right after that, in the same year, you get Coco.
Yeah.
So the misses they're the misses. They're just not that same caliber. But in that same breath, like you blink and you're suddenly with Coco and you're crying again.
That's true. It's true. You know what? And you know what? Now that I'm going through these two, right, where it's like, okay, yeah, Good Dinosaur was a miss, right? Or at least, again, in my opinion. Incredibles 2, I gotta be honest with you, I don't even know if I remember that one well enough. Incredibles was incredible.
Incredibles 2 had some amazing action sequences. I feel like that one pushed it was Pixar's action movie. They were just pushing like, what can we do? Imagine Elastigirl on a motorcycle riding on top of a speeding train.
Yeah, that's right. It's
like boom.
Yeah. And then you had Onward, which I feel like was a big sleeper. We actually just kind of revisited that, or we're talking about revisiting it. Like that was a good sleeper. Like it was it didn't do well, and it came out at the height of the pandemic.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones that they went straight to Disney Plus.
Yeah, but it was really good. And Soul,
Soul was a huge sleeper. Not many. I feel like not a lot of people talk about Soul.
No, but I remember loving it. I mean, and I'm looking at it now. I didn't realize Trent Reznor was involved for the music, which is absolutely incredible. And obviously, if you don't know Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails fame, that's I didn't know that. But it makes sense because he is a huge kind of jazz guy. Luca, I liked. I don't know if I'd put it up there
Luca
with the rest of them. Turning Red, I know Turning Red was. I remember liking Turning Red a lot. And obviously trying to relate to with my daughter.
I laughed incredibly a lot to Turn Red when I first saw that with my kid. I was just like, just all the shtick about like being boy band crazy, and then she turns into a panda and she has to calm down for being like an emotional preteen or teenage girl. It's like she can't handle it. It's like something about, and then having the Asian parents, the dad, when he's like, because it's that scene that I don't know why people get upset by it, but it's the scene where Basically the mom thinks that her daughter had her periods,
Right.
and the
Right.
dad, like, she goes, like, the mom turns to the dad, and the dad, like, lifts up from the dining table. He's like, like, all panicked, and he runs off scene. This is like, I see you. You should be
I see.
like.
uh, and speaking about turning into a giant panda when he's emotional, we got Toy Father stopping by to say, "What's up,
What's up, man?
fellas? We love you, Chris." It was an easy ploy. Lightyear was after turning red, and
Lightyear was the one that I will say. If anyone criticizes Pixar's low point, it will be that movie.
yeah,
I would. Some of it works,
yeah.
but the majority of it, they just missed the mark. I think. You clearly play the game, right? Where you rewrite the movie in your head and to make it better.
Yep.
That one should have been a father-son tale.
I could see that. I was gonna say it could have been a great short. Would have been a great short.
Would have been great if they kept the design of Toy Story, like Buzz from that movie.
Yep.
And also it has to be reasonable that this would be like a draw. Like, people would love this movie. It had to have been like Star Wars to Andy.
Right.
And this was like, if this was Andy's favorite movie, Andy has like medium taste. Like, when there no other options going on. I mean, I guess he's playing for Cowboy initially from the 1960s. So now he's just like, oh yeah, Space Ranger.
This is
love it.
Wildly different. It goes from a 6-gun to the space. Wildly different.
There's a universe where only one movie comes out per year.
yeah. Nothing else. Oh man. And then I'm looking too now at and then obviously Elio coming out this year, and then I'm looking at the releases for the next couple of years. So we've got Hoppers, which I assume is not about the grasshopper in A Bug's Life.
Could you imagine it's a prequel? It's the story of Hopper.
Assuming they're not getting the same voice actor for that. And then so we're gonna get 2 next year. We're gonna get Hoppers, and then we're gonna get Toy Story 5 in June next year. And then Gato's releasing in 2027. We're also getting an Incredibles 3, which again, always happy to go back to that world. I love Brad Bird, and I love his ability to tell the stories. I love the Incredibles movie. I mean, I also feel like I might have just been like at a low where these movies are like Incredibles 2, or I must have just watched it once and never again. So I might have to go back and watch it. And then we're getting Coco 2 in 2029. So
Coco 2 is interesting. I don't know if we need a sequel to Coco.
Yeah, let's see. Coco 2 is in development. Let's see, what do we got? We got a description for it. What is Coco 2 going to be about?
Clearly not Coco, to be honest, unless they travel to that world again and she's there.
Yeah, let's see. Earlier versions of the film had different universe rules regarding how Miguel, originally called, or would go back from the land of the dead in case it physically had run across a bridge. Oh no, I think this is all part of the original story. Where Leon Critch wrote it. So yeah, I don't know.
I'm excited for Incredibles 3. I think I would like to see a time jump this time though.
Yeah.
I want to see what happens when Dash and Jack are teenage boys, and maybe in age Violet, and she's a young adult now.
Yeah.
And the parents are retired.
Yeah. And how are they dealing with retirement? We know that Mr. Incredible there didn't do so well when he was in hiding. Yep. So how are we dealing with that? And I like the idea of the aged up. That would be I think that could be fun. Do they have their own? Did they find other superheroes? Right? Like, are they finding their own like little young Justice League type of thing? That could be a lot of fun too. So and we got Yimbo stopping by too, saying hello, my boys. What's going on, Yimbo? Thanks for swinging in. And anybody still in the chat, obviously, too, chime in. We want to know what your favorite movies were, or your movies that has absolutely emotionally wrecked you. That you're still recovering from. I can't think of Bing Bong without crying candy myself. So, that's for sure. I'm really glad they didn't bring him back, by the way, because it's like, one of those things where like it would have cheapened the death. So
it would have.
Spoiler alert if you haven't seen a movie from 20 years ago at this or 10 years ago at this
10,
point.
10 years.
But yeah, I keep saying 20.
I mean, if we go all the way back and think about the movies, the early 90s that set Disney or brought Disney back for the strength of animation, probably because of Katzenberg for the large part, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King. Lion King not so much, but Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin I watched a lot growing up.
Why Lion King not so much? Why Lion King not so much? I'm gonna harp on that one.
I like it, but I didn't really care about Simba. Something about him, like, because he makes even as a child, I didn't like his decision making.
Okay, that's fine.
Like, you ran away, man. I can relate to that, but you ran away. You left your dad in a field. Like, you listen to clearly like an uncle that kind of sucks. Like, I mean, even as a child, you should realize, hey, this guy seems like a baddie. And so my favorite characters were Timon and Pumbaa.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not a bad film at all. I like The Lion King. It's just like it doesn't rank there as much as Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, that's fair.
I have to stack them into the same box set of DVDs. I'd be like, no, I'll $10 less and leave Lion King out.
I loved Timon. He had such like one of those really good little lie down before you hurt yourself. Like it's just those little like Nathan Lane inspired voices that you're just like, oh god, it's so good. But I mean the same thing too with with Robin Williams obviously in
by far like made that movie. It was an iconic performance for an animated film. Robin Williams with the pantheon of characters and performances as the genie might be his top, like in his top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the only character that lets him, like actually morph into the characters he can morph into. I also
was one of the earliest tales of Disney not doing right by their actors.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. They had like the little short afterwards where they did in the parks with him, and then it just got all screwy after that, which is really disappointing. Who knows what could have come from that, right? Like that could have been something absolutely incredible. I do always think of Aladdin though when everybody talks about the Labubus. I immediately think of Jafar. It's time to say goodbye to Prince Abubu. Like that's immediately where my head goes.
Well, anytime where my head will go now.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, I can't wait for the Abubus.
Prince Abubu. Yeah. Tenny says the Bambi is one of those movies that she still wrecks her or makes her cry. One of my wife's favorite lines is "flowers make me sneeze" is something that always comes across every time.
The skunk.
Yeah, the skunk. Yeah, it's, flower the skunk. Flower. Flashpoint. Are we talking movies that made us cry? Talking movies that made you cry? Talking that made you emotional? Anything? Any connection that you have to them? Never show me a shadow coming over that hill. I don't know if that's a Lion King reference or a Fantasia reference. I don't know if we're venturing to an elephant graveyard, NJ Tree. Hopefully you're still watching so you're not screaming at the replay. And Yimbo says, Hakuna Matata, Chewy. Jeez.
I mean, I say no worries all the time. And clearly that's from Lion King. Nothing cultural, of course.
Nothing cultural. Strictly Lion King. So who else would say such a thing? Yeah. So what would be, so we're talking about favorite movies. What is one of Homeward Bound? Shadow. You mean the dog Shadow? Okay. All right. One of my favorite lines from that is, he bit me with his butt. It was a great line. There you go. So what's a song? What's a song that I know you talked about a song that you can go back to all the time in from Elemental. What's a song though that you cannot skip over if it comes onto your replay or your shuffle?
Let's see. It's that song. It's the Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride.
Yes,
I always listen to it. In fact, if you saw those two, I know they have names, but on TikTok you'll see them. It's like those two a cappella singers in the kitchen, and then they'll have the celebrity in the middle.
Yes.
and they had the girl the actress that played Lilo and animatronic version of Stitch, and they were doing Hawaiian roller coaster ride, and it's adorable. Like that girl that played Lilo, everyone gave her such a hard time, and she was fantastic. She was
great.
She was pure 7-year-old kid in that movie, running amok. Like, so it's that. I love listening to the Spanish version of "You Got a Friend in Me."
Okay.
From Toy
The
Story
Spanish
3.
version. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something about that makes me happy. It's just like it just sounds so authentic. Like it plays for me. And then again up that piano,
the piano.
And like it's just
yeah.
so good. My son has a recital this weekend on Saturday. He started learning how to play the piano this year. And he's playing Edelweiss, When You Wish Upon a Star, and maybe the song from Lion King. Oh god, so Love Tonight. Can you feel the love?
Can you feel the love tonight? Yeah. Almost There from NJ Tree saying, yeah, Princess and the Frog, classic. That soundtrack's phenomenal too. I don't think there's a song I don't like in there. Tenny says Tenny's with you on Hawaiian roller coaster ride. I go back to some of the classics. I go back to like Feed the Birds, Mary Poppins, which now double meaning for me. I do. I love Hakuna Matata. I do love the intro to Can You Feel the Love Tonight with Timon and Pumbaa doing the opening. I can see what's happening. What? Yeah. That
same thing with Beauty and the Beast then with the ballroom scene, and it's Mrs. Potts.
Yes, Mrs. Potts. Gaston, the song Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. That's a banger for me. Yeah, I'm trying to think of. You're right though. Definitely, you're right on the piano. The piano gets you every time. You can't skip that. So,
what were the boys that Walt Disney used to use for like every movie? I forget
the Sherman Brothers.
The Sherman Brothers, and then you go back to Mary Poppins, and you go back to even Saving Mr. Banks, and they depicted that scene of just trying to, can you fly a kite? And it's just like something so beautiful about that.
Yeah, it takes you back. It's a song that takes you back to a simpler time, not just simpler time in like Mary Poppins. It just reminds you of a different time period in your life. But I find though too, like I find a lot of songs from the park. Right, like
yes,
I'm
like
stuck in a lot of songs.
The Jordan Fisher song. Was it? Get the name of it now, but it's hold on, I'm gonna pull it up.
Yeah, dude, I was Grin Getting Ghost, I'll hum, or Illuminations. Right, I mean that's a fireworks thing. You go back to that one. Phantasmic. I mean, so like
Oh, it's a Happily Ever After fireworks show.
Happily Ever After fireworks show. Yeah.
That's the one. And I was saying there's like we normally don't make it to the fireworks in Magic Kingdom. Normally we're burnt out and we're going. Or my son, every year he's a little bit older, but like earlier on, he's like younger kid. He's passed out on the stroller.
Yeah.
One year we did make it, and I remember turning to my wife and saying like, "Hey, when I die, I'm gonna envision this music. Like I'm gonna hear this music.
This is what you're gonna hear.
This is gonna be the montage music across when I flash back across all my years."
Let's see. I'm pulling up top 10 Disney songs of all time just to see what they got here. And let's see if we agree with it. Let's see. Oh, this is 100 greatest. I'm not going to do 100 greatest. All right, Let It Go, which I would say, sure, more modern, but okay. We might be oversaturated with it right now. Under the Sea, definitely. Whole New World, Circle of Life, When You Wish Upon a Star, Color of the Wind. Always forget about that.
Oh, yeah.
Always forget about that one. Beauty and the Beast, Part of Your World, Be Our Guest. Ooh, Jerry Orbach, Be Our Guest. Moana, How Far I'll Go. Bare Necessities. How did Bare Necessities? Yeah. Hakuna Matata. I'll Make a Man Out of You. Mulan. There you go. Let's Go Fly a Kite is on here. Can You Feel the Love? You'll Be in My Heart, which that's another one that song will just absolutely wreck me. Reflection from Mulan. Just Can't Wait to Be King. You Got a Friend in Me. Baby Mine from Dumbo.
Okay.
Another one. Friend Like Me. Oh yeah, that's a banger too. We don't talk about Bruno. Remember Me from Coco, and then Prince Ali. So you go the top. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 top 20 something songs here. So yeah, damn, there's so much you can't get. Like so much you just forget about. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so much you forget about.
Oh man. I'm gonna be on a Disney kick all week.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
I,
rewatching
I just
movies.
I just pulled up the 100 just to see what was on here, and 99 is Nothing Can Stop Us Now from Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
I have that on a playlist. I do listen to it.
Good luck getting that out of your head for
Come on, that
sure.
ending when they're just like you make it back and Goofy's doing his shtick and like Mickey and
Yeah.
Minnie are sitting on a blanket he's playing an acoustic guitar to his
Yep.
girl, like you see the
The
fireworks.
ukulele. Yeah.
Oh, so good. So good.
Yeah.
So my kids have been binge watching High School Musical, the series
Mm.
that tapped into
Okay.
both High School Musical, but also, you know, Camp Rock and some original tunes, but then Beauty and the Beast and Frozen. And so like my kids have been singing all those songs all week. And there's a part of me that, you know, when I was younger, it's just like, oh God, these types of songs. But
Yeah.
that's just Disney. These are no different besides it being sung by teenage kids.
Right. Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure now. You don't even have to feel guilty about it.
It's inspiring my daughter. She wants to
There you
pick
go.
up guitar lessons this summer.
Ooh. Okay.
So
Neither one of my kids does the instruments. My daughter sings, but you know, she's like, you know, and it's funny because her uncle gave her like a keyboard that he used to have, and it's like not a great keyboard, but he's like, I upgraded my keyboard. You can have this one. The first thing she did was she wrote the chords on, or the like the musical letters on the keys, and I was like, you can't do that. And then she's like, why not? And I was like, huh. You know, it's like one of those things you're like,
it's like
I don't have a good reason for that. You're right. That probably makes it easier for you.
This is for you. This is yours. He's never gonna ask for it back.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever helps you learn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it. Go for it. Genius. Teddy says she was once under Gaston's that is like being literally under the fireworks. Oh yeah, back in like Magic Kingdom. Yeah, that's got to be like right there, because they usually ward that off, because I think they set them off from behind where the behind the stage there. So yeah, that's
they say a secret, you know, and this is probably something we'll get into more and more as the show progresses, but little like park secrets is that every once in a while the Disney princesses and characters will hang out behind the castle during the fireworks.
Oh, I didn't know.
So you could have a little bit of a magical moment then and there with, you know, because that's where the princess meet and greet spot is, and you know, Chip and Dale and like all them. Yeah. Something to keep in mind. If you're ever like, I've been to Magic Kingdom 900 times.
Yeah, probably. We're probably up there. I do remember one time that we were at like after magic hours, like after magic hours, and it was literally like, it must have been like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It's like one of those like summer magic hours where they stay open really late. And I was like, all right, we got to go. Like, I am just dragging ass. And my wife was like, no, I want to do the carousel. Like, you know, I'm like, a carousel. Come on. Like, you know, let's do the carousel. Fine. Do the carousel. And we did the carousel, and we rode the carousel with Chip and Dale. And it was like, it was the end of the night, and a bunch of them got on. And it was like one of those things where it's like, she'll hold that over my head. She'll be like, remember when you said you wanted to go? I was like, yeah, all right.
I will say there's some, you know, it's very much a sign that you're a Disney adult when interacting with one of these characters warms up the warm and fuzzies in you.
Yeah.
Like, I got 2 hugs that are just imprinted in my mind, like they're family. Like, I got a hug from Winnie the Pooh one year that just felt, it was just like a good memory. And then the first time going back to Disney World after not going for like maybe like 10, 12, oh my God, it might have been actually 20 years. I got a hug from classic Goofy in his classic attire. It's like I could have cried on him.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, my wife was just like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get Goofy's autograph or a selfie. And like, he just like leaned in, he's like,
come here,
and just like grabbed me. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, there's something about it, man.
It's like, don't let go.
Yeah, it fixes you.
Yeah.
It fixes you. I don't care what that sounds like. It fixes you. You know, it's just how it is. It's just how it is. NJ Tree says, "Go the distance" from Hercules. Definitely,
Yes, that
yes,
is a
that's definitely
song
on the
that
list.
when I do hear it,
How? Yeah.
oh, so good.
How is that not on the list, by the way? And live action Hercules, I think it's live action movie, or is it going to be stage show coming soon?
I think it's a stage show and a live action
And a
movie.
live action movie. I
Yeah.
know that they are releasing. I think tomorrow they are releasing the live action or the stage recording of Frozen. Um, so on Disney Plus. So I'm actually curious to see how that looks. So I think
That'd
Tenny
be
is
cool.
offering us a ukulele. So
Ooh.
I don't know if you want one. I don't know if I will learn how to play one. Maybe we'll do it as our first giveaway. We'll throw some
Okay.
Disney memorabilia together, and it'll be a giveaway as a thank you from
I
Tenio Toys.
I
So
have some ukuleles in the house, but I'm pretty
okay,
sure they are children's ones.
okay. Well, hey, you know, there you go.
But who knows?
No, it's just says Trader Sam's pours strong drinks. Absolutely.
Yep.
Definitely one of the best places to go. I think they got some new tiki mugs that they're going to be releasing soon too, if I
Oh,
remember
cool.
seeing that.
Nice.
So go spend $20 on a drink and get a mug to take home with you. And Clintastic 4 stopping by saying, hey, gents, what's going on, Clint?
What's up, Clint?
We're starting to hit we're just about at our hour mark, which is great because again, I feel like we could keep going, but then we won't have anything to talk about for episode 3. So I'm loving this though. What's an underrated Disney song that we haven't talked about tonight that you feel like you like, but not many other people might?
Hmm. I can't think of one. Do you have one on top of mind?
You know what? I'm googling underrated Disney songs, but the first one that came to mind was the Billy Joel "Why Should I Worry" from Oliver and Company. Why should I worry?
Oh, Oliver and
Why
Company. I used to
should I
love that one.
care? Right? Yeah, that one. Or
Oh, speaking of Disney movies, but it's highly appreciated,
yeah.
the Goofy movie.
Oh God, yes. Good.
That
And
soundtrack.
celebrated what 30 years this year? It was 30 years this year, right?
30 or 35, 40
Yeah.
years?
No, I don't think it's 40. I don't think it's 40. I think it's
30,
30.
30.
Yeah, I think it's 30. Yeah. The song that the narrator sings in Robin Hood is actually on my playlist, everybody, every once in a while. So Robin Hood and Little John running through the forest. Like the other have to say, Oodle Lolly What a Day, that one for sure.
Yeah.
If Never Knew You from Pocahontas is his underrated one. That's a good one. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. All right. So we got top underrated Disney songs. I Won't Say I'm in Love, Meg from what's
That's a
called
great one.
there. Yep.
Hercules.
That's a good one. Stand Out from a Goofy movie. Go the Distance. My Belle Evangeline from Princess and the Frog. When She Loved Me from Toy
Oh,
Story 2.
tearjerker right there.
Yeah.
I feel like that one's appreciated.
Yeah, probably. Mother Knows Best from Rapunzel.
Oh, Tangled? Oh, shoot. That was
Yeah,
I mean, that had Mandy Moore in it.
it did have Mandy Moore. Everybody Wants to Be a Cat from the Aristocrats. So Close from Enchanted. I don't remember that one. When We're Human is underrated. Come on, when we're human. Yeah, come on. Why Should I Worry? There it is. From there, Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride, which we've talked about. I'll Make a Man Out of You. Colors of the Wind. How do you count Colors of the Wind as underrated? I See the Lights from Tangled. Lost in the Woods. I do think Lost in the Woods is funny. Lost in the
Which
Woods is
one's
funny.
Lost in the Woods? Is
Frozen
that
2?
Olaf?
Yeah, no, it's not Sven. Christoph.
Oh, okay. I like
Yeah. Stop it, Sven.
Frozen 2. I like I like more than Frozen, the first Frozen.
Yeah.
Only because they gave Olaf, not only because, but the standout to me is that they gave Olaf so many of these funny little moments where he's like Samantha, and it just keeps calling back to.
So my son had his birthday party last week, and he invited a little girl named Samantha. And every time he'd be like, Samantha, and I'd be like, Samantha, I don't know Samantha. And he'd be like, she's right here. Like, he doesn't get it. Like, he's so like this is Samantha. You know Samantha. I was like, I don't know Samantha. Like,
it's his crush, and you're just messing around.
Yeah, they're just totally messing with him. Shiny from Moana is also on this list. That's a good. My son loves that song. I ate my grandma. That's what we always say that line. Be prepared. Oh, be prepared for the Lion King. That was damn, that was a good song. I really like that one. You know the story
I
behind that?
wish. No, go on.
Oh, so be prepared. He blew out his vocals. Jeremy Irons blows out his vocals during Be Prepared, and Jim Cummings steps in to sing the rest of the song. There's like actually a point where you can hear there's just enough of a switch that if you're listening for it, you can hear when he steps in for it. But
It sounds like Winnie the Pooh suddenly.
Yeah, it's just like it's a little bit of like, oh, that doesn't sound right. It's just a little bit, like a little touch. Yeah,
prepared.
Be prepared. Yeah. So oh, but let's see. Who else we got? We got Yashir Smith Muhammad. I am sure I mispronounced that and I apologize, but thank you for stopping by. And Clintastic Force says, I'll never forgive them for butchering Be Prepared in the remake. I never watched the Lion King
I never
remake,
watched that either. Nor
but I will.
Mufasa.
Yeah, yeah. Well, everyone said Mufasa was pretty good, and I feel like I have faith in Mufasa because Lin-Manuel did the music for that.
And why would not talk about Moana too? Well, Miranda did not do that
I haven't
movie.
seen Moana. I have to see it. I have to watch it.
There's this one song that does the trick. It definitely gave it gave Moana like some substance to sing through, and Ali like a good riff. And she did a live version of it for like a Disney special during the holidays last year. But yeah, it was sorely missing. It needed it needs a little bit of a little Hamilton. I'm just gonna say
need a little Hamilton.
Yeah.
The Chee-Hoo song that was pretty good. The Chee-Hoo, the rock singing that one was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's catchy. It's catchy, but I gotta watch the movie yet. Well, dude, welcome to our stream. Everyone's pretty much new here, but we appreciate you guys being here and stopping by. And like I said, we're gonna try to do this every couple of weeks. But the more interaction we get, the better the show always is, for sure. Moana 2 was a series that ended up being repurposed to a movie. Oh, I could see that. I could see that.
And that, Lilo Stitch as well.
Yeah.
They were dancing it, and like people are saying, like, we talked about this, like there's no Jumba. Yeah. They Disney Plus probably, that budget did not involve a giant shark. Giant space shark.
CGI shark.
Hey, where's the CGI shark and the giant like plane sequence in Act 3? This was supposed to be a movie on Disney Plus.
We didn't get that budget. We could do it with a tin can, and a shark puppet. That's what we got.
I mean, once upon a time, you saw some behind the scenes of that movie, and it's like Stitch as like a stuffy. I'm pretty sure the animatronic that they shuffle around every once in a while have been that for that movie. And so someone's just like, how much would it cost to animate Stitch?
Yeah, this ain't gonna work, guys.
God, we can't do this.
We gotta
get the original voice back too. Come on.
Yeah. Find out what Chris is doing. He's probably not doing much. So, but yeah, man, that's I think that's it for this episode. So you got anything coming on you want to plug? Anything outside of or you want to plug TPC top 10?
Yeah, depending on where you're looking. Toy Pick Community on YouTube. Click like, share, subscribe. We're always there on Mondays. We're gonna have these shirts maybe up for sale for San Diego. But
San Diego, that's right.
Besides that, it's the summer. Enjoying life.
It's it. Go outside, touch grass. Have fun. Go to the Disney parks. Do something. So, but
I mean, not July. Don't do yourself in July. Unless you already have a trip planned.
You know what?
Enjoy. You can make it.
Like
I believe in you. Yeah, popcorn bucket. You
may like July. Go do July. I would not be surprised if they were going to make a Moana 3. I'm sure it made enough money.
That one also, I think, crossed $1 billion.
Yeah.
So
and they have the live action of that one coming out too soon, right? So
yeah, with The Rock.
Shocking, The Rock. So, but if you're just checking it out on the J Shot channel, I am live on every Wednesday with Machu Toy, who you've seen in the chat, on Between Two Sentinels, where we talk toy and toy photography and all things nerd that isn't Disney. We're kind of, we might talk a little bit, but like this is definitely the Disney focus. So hopefully we will see you back here in a couple weeks. So I think that's it, Chewy. Till then, see you real soon. Bye, everybody. Yep.